should have put something on the mannequin. Okay, this is a mess.
Usually when you see a drag queen out in a club, for people that don't know a lot about drag, or they see them on TV or whatever, they think that, oh, like, this is what this person looks like 24/7, and, like, you know, that other person needs to understand that you're a boy that has a hobby that just includes, you know, makeup and dresses and heels. It's not about drag. It's about what excites me, what I find fun, is the idea of dressing up. But it doesn't have to be drag. It could be a boy look. I throw on a big sequin Nike t-shirt, go out. I can't really explain the emotion and the feeling that I get, and the adrenaline rush, and the love for myself, and the insane amount of confidence when I put on a dress or a jumpsuit, and paint my face, and put on some boots, and walk out like I fucking own the world. First and foremost, I always say that I'm fully blooded Lebanese. I was raised in a very Lebanese way, with very Lebanese parents and a very Lebanese family that went to every Lebanese festival in California.
عقد سوارة خاتم حلق
قد ايه؟
هذا 90,000 بصفي 50,000.
I love clothes. That's part of the reason why I got into this business and this industry, is because something about the idea of fashion, the idea that you can transform yourself and escape, you know, even for just a minute, the world that we live in through a piece of clothing. That's the fantasy that I enjoy and that I love.
That's pretty.
ده حلقة سوارة وخاتم.
The first time I did it, and it was Halloween. And it was for fun, and I wanted to be another character. And then the emotions and the feelings that went through my mind, body, and soul that night, I'll never forget. When I had that moment of freedom, when I moved to New York and I lived on my own, those 3 years were the best 3 years of my life, hands down. Because I had the complete freedom of being who I am, whenever, whatever I wanted to be. I was doing what I loved. I was creating things. I was going to school, I was creating things for me. And the next day I showed up to school wearing that outfit. Because I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to class like this. And I did. I can't do that here. You know what I mean? It's those little moments in my life where I'm like, I did that. I went to school in 8-inch hooker heels. It's such a great escape for me to do that. It's not just that. I'm a queer homosexual that my circumstances don't fit in this country. The circumstances in this country don't fit my lifestyle. And I'm not the only one. So there's a bunch of people out there in this country struggling with the same thing that I am. I do not regret it one bit that I moved to this country, because it's been amazing for my career. That's one thing that makes you extremely proud and extremely happy. Part of the reason I decided to stay was because of my parents. The bigger part was the fact that I got a job. And I knew for a fact that all the people that I graduated with were struggling and not finding jobs. And I'm like, I need to shut the fuck up and take this job, and it was a good job. And I was like, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna make it work.
No. انت فيك تسمك تلزق لك هاي نعم.
There are certain circumstances at this point in my life that are not making me happy, that are related to my parents. The fact that I still live with them, The other thing, the fact that their health is not doing so well, and I'm starting to realize that I may need to be in this country longer than I planned to take care of them. And that they're not doing so well financially, which means I have to take care of them financially as well, since my brother is not able to right now with his law school loans and the fact that he just had a kid. So it's kind of being dumped on my shoulders. And I'm not complaining about it, it's just not easy.
But after glitter and 2 minutes. Yeah.
When I was working at, when we had a Lebanese restaurant, and I was working there was my first somewhat, he wasn't really a friend, he was a classmate, he was a gay classmate, and super flamboyant. So he knew that I worked here and my parents owned this restaurant, so he showed up one day. He walks in and he's like, hey girl, like blah, 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 you know? My father was there literally staring him the fuck down. The guy leaves. My dad looks at me and is like, Min haydan manyak? Manyak San Francisco. That was his version of saying gay. And actually, I think a few times after that, that's when gay marriage was getting legalized in California. He was watching the news, and he spat at the news. Like, he literally.
Can you see?
I mean, my father, actually recently has been saying this a lot. I'm marrying you by the time you're 30. And you can't be yourself in your own house. Like, you walk into your house and you are like, okay, let me just hide this complete other person that I am. Just leave him outdoors. Just leave him out. So one time, I think I was 19. My mother sat me down and was like, asked me this one question, she looked me straight in the eye and asked me this one question that shook me. And she said, why are all your friends girls? And that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, she knows, like, as if she was asking me if I was gay, Because I never really hung out with dudes. And one time I was sitting in bed and I was really hungover one Sunday morning, and I had just come back from New York, and I did a little drag shopping, and I bought this gold lame 70s Cher jumpsuit. She found it and decided to try it on, walk in, look at herself in the mirror wearing it. And that was the sight that I woke up to. Gold lame Cher jumpsuit. And she turns to me and she realized that I woke up, and she turns to me and she goes, hello? And I literally, that moment where I was like, oh my God, I am my mother.
I was once a Sunday kneeler when I saw the red light. Far from the pain, I didn't know that the grass was not only spotlight.